Hello! I'm Jason, the Last Wordslinger.
I'm Wes, the Lost Hatter.
And welcome to the 8th actual episode of our podcast.
We forgot how to count.
Yeah, I goofed last episode.
Not my fault.
Yeah, we goofed, okay? We goofed.
You goofed.
I goofed.
Yeah.
I goofed.
It happened.
But welcome to the actual 8th episode of our podcast.
Yep.
Wes's fantastic adventure.
Why are you here then?
Because I'm your comic relief.
I don't really need comic relief. I mean, no offense, but I kind of got that covered.
I'm your straight man then?
Not really.
I'm your lovable
More comic
sidekick?
relief, I guess.
Maybe?
I don't know.
Anyway, we have lots to talk about.
Yep.
And Caitlin's kind of here too.
Kinda.
Okay, she's not actually talking this time. She waves. She says hi, everyone.
Sure, why not?
And what would you like to start with first, buddy? You want to talk about Riddick?
Sure, since I saw a movie and you didn't.
Yes. As per our normal standard of one of us seeing a movie and the other not seeing the movie, Wes saw Riddick.
I saw Riddick. What was it? Rule the Dark?
I think it was like Riddick Rule the Dark or whatever. Here, I'll look it up while you talk about it.
All right, so I went and saw the Chronicles of Riddick, and I'm not going to go with spoilers or anything, but if you enjoyed the other Riddicks, it was a lot like the first one, but not like
that was Pitch Black,
same
right?
thing. Yeah, Pitch Black was the first one. Okay, it's very similar.
Actually, it looks like it's just called Riddick.
Well, that's odd.
I know.
I'm going to call it Riddick Rule the Dark.
Okay, so we're going to call it Riddick Rule the Dark, even though that may not be the actual name.
Too late.
Okay, so it's like Pitch Black, you say?
It's very similar to Pitch Black. It has a lot of, it's same kind of concept of, hey, it's a world, and there are terrible monsters on the world, and there are a bunch of normies stuck there trying to get Riddick.
And Riddick is the only badass to take him down. The monsters.
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay, yeah.
Otherwise, they kind of die like bitches.
Now this takes place chronologically after
the third movie, and it does address the fact that the
second
necromongers are not there. That's actually the third movie.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, there was Pitch Black,
the animated film that most people don't know about, and then Chronicles of Riddick.
Okay. So that is that the chronological order they go in? Pitch
Yes.
Black,
The animated movie that nobody knows about, and it actually expresses what happens between 1 and 2.
Okay, and then Chronicles.
Chronicles of Riddick, and then Riddick Rule the Dark, which is what I'm calling it, and I don't care what anyone says.
Okay, so this does take place after number 3.
Yeah, and it does address the fact that, there are no necromongers, like at all in the trailer.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because,
that was a big issue.
I always hate when movies do that sort of thing where it's like, here's the continuing story of this character, but we're not going to explain what happened.
The good first 20 minutes of the movie are explaining where the necromongers went. And I'm not telling.
Okay, well, that's good. We appreciate you not spoiling.
Yeah. Someone would hurt me.
No.
Probably her.
Isn't Carl Urban involved?
Yes, he is actually back to play Vaco for that 20-minute section.
Excellent. I'm glad to see Carl Urban still having work. Because I like Carl Urban.
From what it's implied, he'll be in the next one.
Okay, so maybe he's going back to do whatever he needs to do. Trying to be as vague as possible.
Well, I mean, you didn't see the movie.
No, but you told me.
Not too much.
Yeah, but you told me enough.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm trying to be vague for
the next movie as well because he didn't die terribly to Riddick.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, well, he needs to die.
Does he?
I don't know, does he?
How would you know?
I'm asking.
Anyways.
Does he need to die?
Quote, unquote.
Question mark.
Exclamation point?
Ellipses.
Now we're not even... Nope, we're blathering again.
We're blathering?
Yeah, what are the odds?
Give me another quotation mark punctuation thingy. Caitlin.
Semicolon? Let's go with semicolon.
Okay, Caitlin contributes colon, even though she didn't say anything.
Good call.
Okay. So, that was Riddick. Would you recommend it?
Yes, no. If you enjoyed the other Riddick movies, go see Chronicles of Riddick, or the Riddick Rule the Dark.
Okay.
I don't care. That's what I'm calling it.
Well, I mean, no one can argue with you. Because this is a podcast, so we're not actually talking to anyone else.
Yeah.
So...
Also, this can almost count as satire.
It could be. Wait, the movie or this podcast?
Meow mix.
Okay. Well, that was Riddick. So Wes gives it a solid recommendation. I might actually go check it out.
I give it a solid recommendation if you saw the other Riddick movies. If you didn't, you probably won't enjoy this. But give them a shot.
Well, I mean, if you like action movies...
If you like action movies, but you won't have any idea what's going on or why Riddick's a badass.
Or maybe if you're a Vin Diesel fan...
Well, I mean, if you're a Vin Diesel fan, you've already watched the other Riddick movies.
That is true. So good point. That is a good Good
Also,
point.
there's a UFC guy. I can never remember his name. I think his name is Batista.
Oh, Batista. Yeah, I've heard of him. I'm not a big
Yeah.
UFC guy either, but Batista was like the...
He's really big and impressive looking. I'll give him that.
Well, I mean, yeah, so is Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel, a big, impressive looking guy.
Yeah.
He also plays D&D.
Well, then he's obviously amazing.
You didn't know that?
No, why would I know that?
Yeah. Vin Diesel actually has gone on record be like, yeah, I play D&D.
Wow, Vin Diesel. Nothing bad can ever happen to you now.
All right. Do you want to talk about? Let's knock out some of the quick stuff really here before we get into like.
Define quick stuff.
Let me talk about the Tomorrow People really quick.
Okay.
All right. I was listening to the radio at work the other day because that's really all I'm allowed to do for fun at work.
Uh-huh.
And I heard a commercial for a new program coming out on the CW next month.
Oh, it's next month? Nice.
Yes, October. And when I heard the title, I stopped for a minute because I was taken aback. I was like, no, it couldn't be. And then the commercial gave a quick, description, synopsis, tagline about what the show was about. And I'm like, oh, shit, it is what I thought it was about. So it's called The Tomorrow People. And it's the CW show is a remake
of a remake
in the 90s, which was a remake of a 70s science fiction British program. All with the same name. The 70s science fiction program was The Tomorrow People. The 90s show was The Tomorrow People. And now this new show is The Tomorrow People.
Yep.
And, I had to roll my eyes because I loved the 90s show because I actually watched it growing up. Not a lot of people have actually heard about it. Apparently more than I originally gave credit for because I posted that on Facebook, my disbelief. And a bunch of other people were like, oh, yeah, I remember that show. Blah, blah,
Well,
blah,
admittedly, the people are not normal.
Yeah, it's true. We don't know normal people. So.
I know a normie. I've got one somewhere.
No, you don't.
I put him somewhere.
No, you have no.
I just gotta find him.
Okay. Well, the premise of the show is it's about teenagers that develop psychic powers because they're quote unquote the next stage in human evolution. So kind of X-Men-ish in that sense.
They're totally not mutants.
But unlike X-Men, who have a wide variety of powers, all these teenagers have pretty much the same powers. They have telepathy, telekinesis, and teleportation. Those are pretty much the three.
To some varying degree.
Yeah, to some varying degree. Those are the three powers that all of them have. And on top of that, at least in the original shows, they also had a biological. They had a biological
tendency,
or it's the opposite of tendency.
I don't know what you're talking about. Then.
Well, basically, their biology prevented them from intentionally killing people.
Oh, okay.
They could not. They literally, physically, and psychologically could not kill a person. So I liked that. I liked that because, like I said, they're supposed to be the next stage in human evolution. I liked the fact that they were saying the next stage in human evolution is going to be less violent than the current. Well, it not only did it put that in there, but it also forced the characters to solve their problems
without just mind raping everything.
Yeah, without in non-violent ways. They had to be clever about it, and I appreciated that. Now, I don't know if the new show is going to follow through with that.
I kind of doubt it.
I kind of doubt it. And honestly, the CW show is making it look like one of those sexy teen
drama
thingamabobs, kind of like, Vampire Diaries, or I could pretty much name any other show out there where the kids have powers and they're sexy and drama and shit. I mean, I'm sure you listeners could think of some yourself, but you know the type of show I'm talking about, and I'm sure you do too, Wes.
I don't watch TV.
But you watch Netflix, and you know what I'm talking about, though.
Lies and slander.
The point I'm making is I'm afraid they're turning one of my favorite shows from the 90s into a travesty.
I'd like to point out this is a remake of a remake on CW.
I know. But the first remake was on Nickelodeon. They did a good job.
Yeah, I still have never seen that.
I'll show you sometime.
You've got to find it.
I think there are episodes on YouTube.
Yeah, everything can be found on YouTube.
But there might be a resurgence of the episodes now that the new series is coming out. So maybe. But I'm just concerned, and I don't know why they're dredging.
Well, because we've been over this. They can't create anything new.
Because there are no new ideas left?
Apparently.
I'm pretty sure I could think of a new idea right now. Right now. Gay space pirates. Done.
Captain Jack Harkness.
He was not a pirate.
He could have been.
He could have been, but he was not. Now, he was space, and he wasn't even technically gay.
No,
he was omnisexual. That's the term I like to use. Would you agree with that, Caitlin? Yay!
You know you're our most frequent guest star?
Okay.
That's what I thought.
She's really tired right now.
I don't know what you're talking about, Crazy Pants.
Poor thing. Okay, so that's just my thought on the Tomorrow People. I'm willing to like take a look at it when it comes
didn't
out.
Look terrible.
I mean, it didn't. I mean, the effects looked good. You know.
Well, yeah, we're getting further and further advanced technology. We can do effects easier and easier.
You do. Did you know that not only have video on a tangent, since we do that a lot, video game graphics have almost become photorealistic, like people.
No, they've been photorealistic for a while.
No. I'm like even like well, you see, even though they're photorealistic, they still have that kind of dead, lifeless look.
But not for long.
Not for long. But on top of that, I saw a video of a guy that had an apparatus that was developed that could actually track your facial features and transfer it onto the video game character. So your video game character mimicked all of your facial movements.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wow. Not only are we having photorealistic, but we can also have realistic, real-time reactions. Can you imagine the possibilities, my friend?
They are getting better and better about that. I mean, you saw the graphics on The Last of Us.
I know, the graphics on The Last of Us were really good, and I can only imagine what next gen's going to come out, because, like somebody pointed out, you remember when PS3 and Xbox 360 came out?
Yeah.
You remember what the games looked like then?
Yeah.
And then jump... I don't know how many years it's been since they were first introduced. Can you answer that question?
Not even remotely.
Okay. But remember the graphics then and look at the graphics now. Like, take Last of Us, which is one of the last this generation games we're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And then look at one of the games from the very beginning of the generation, right? Look at how amazing the graphics have come in only that number of years. In one generation of games. Now imagine, like, the first round of games for this next generation of consoles, and then imagine what they're going to look like
when we're done with them.
When we're done with the next generation of consoles.
Well, it should be completely and utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, it should be like almost real looking. Huh?
I have a theory about that.
Well,
You should speak it.
You should share it. Come over here.
In a general mic-wise direction.
Yeah, you have. Yeah, it's kind of. I realized last session it's really hard to hear you when you're over there.
Because I'm tired.
I know.
Here.
Well, okay, Caitlin has a theory about this, and she's going to share it with us, even though she's really tired right now.
My theory is that video games are going to become so realistic that people are actually going to have a more resurgence towards making them look less realistic.
Oh, you think we're gonna have a resurgence, a less realistic resurgence?
Not necessarily like 8-bit or something like that, but I think they're going to purposely start making video games look like video games.
Oh, okay. So you think we're gonna get to a point and then we're gonna take it that direction?
Because I think at first people are gonna be like, yeah, this is really cool, but human nature, this is cool, but now this is creepy. So let's backtrack.
Well, it is really creepy. I mean, there is that whole uncanny valley thing where robots and simulated images are getting closer to being like almost indistinguishable from real people, and the closer we get, the creepier it is, because...
And so the more people kind of start to back away from it.
Exactly.
That's my theory.
Oh, thank you for sharing. Now that we've went off on a tangent about video game graphics... I farted.
Good job.
Just wanted the audience to know that.
Well, I'm over here.
I think I hate you.
Just a little bit?
More than that.
Just a lot of it?
Yeah.
Okay. What are we going to talk about now?
Well, we only have like 3 options left according to our list.
Well, I don't even know what our time's at right now.
It's at that much.
Oh, well, we're not bad. We're doing good. I'll talk about the Humble Indie Bundle really quick.
Okay.
Since I've only played a little bit of it, so I can't say that much. But I downloaded the Humble Indie Bundle number 9. Basically, the way it works is you can donate any amount of money that you wish to the Humble Indie Bundle, and you can get all of the games available. Well, that's not true. You have to donate over the average to get 2 of the games, but you can get 4 games for any amount, and then you can get 6 games for anything over like $5, I think. $5, you get 5 games. The games are Brutal Legend, Mark of the Ninja, Trine 2, the complete story. So it's the entire Trine 2 game, and then I think the other one, it Eats Munchies. That's the beta that's not working on my computer right now. And then you can get Fez and Faster Than Light are the two that you have to pay like more than $5 to get as well. So you can, but I paid $1 and I got Brutal Legend, Mark of the Ninja, the first four. I got the first four for only $1. And on top of donating the money to get these games, you can also dictate where you want the money to go. If you want all the money to go to the developers, you can do that. If you want all the money to go to the charity that this is run for, you can do that. You can split it up between the two percentage-wise. It's really cool. Now, again, I paid $1.
That's because you're a cheap bastard.
Well, I'm sorry. But $1.
Cheap bastard. This is for charity. What's wrong with you?
Hey,
Did your dollar even go to charity?
Yes. Part of my dollar went to charity.
Part of his dollar.
Part of my dollar. And you know what?
You couldn't even give a whole dollar to charity?
At least I gave something.
I didn't
Okay.
even know this existed.
Yeah, they've had 9 of these, dude.
How would I know that?
I'm telling you now.
Doesn't have a computer.
I'm telling him now. 9 of these. Are you gonna play Brutal Legend when I get on my computer?
Why? I already beat the game.
I know, but you could play it again.
On your computer?
Yeah.
When you're not using it? When is
Yes.
that again?
Sometimes.
When you're unconscious.
Yes.
That is the only time. And then I have to sneak over and take it from you.
You don't have to sneak over if you want to use my computer when I go to sleep. Okay, we're not talking about this on the podcast.
Really? Because we just did.
Okay, Mark of the Ninja is really cool. You basically have to do ninja-y things, sneak around, stealth kills, all that good stuff, and it actually forces you to be stealthy. I played Trine 2 a little bit right before the podcast, and I like the mechanics. You have 3 characters, they do different things. They're throwing a fox around right now.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's not flying. It's totally flying. It's gonna stay over here now.
Fox McCloud.
It's Fox McCloud.
Never speak to me again. Ever.
Slippy!
You, not her.
Slippy!
Excuse me, audience. It's annual Choke Jason Day.
Oh yeah, by the way, happy 9/11 day, everyone.
You're a terrible person.
I am a terrible person. I'm gonna get so much hate
Wow.
mail for that.
You don't get hate mail yet.
Yet.
Excuse me, I have to write some hate mail.
And of course, Brutal Legend is Brutal Legend. Trine 2, you get 3 characters. They each have different mechanics to solve puzzles. It's really fun. Or at least so far it is. I'll let you guys know more about it next week.
Yep.
All right, Pokemon, go.
Pokemon, we have more release on fairies. My god, I hate fairies.
All right, what do we got about the fucking fairies?
Okay, so let me just double check here. I'm rereading this.
Fox McCloud.
Okay, so
Hey, Fox McCloud.
fairies. This is current as of today. Fairies are super effective on fighting Dark and Dragon. Not effective on.
Fox McCloud.
They do half damage on fire, poison.
Wait,
or
they're super
steel.
effective against fighting Dark and Dragon?
Yep.
Wow.
Wait for it. Not effective on fire, poison, and steel. That's half damage. It's weak to poison and steel. Resists fighting Dark and Bug, and is completely immune to Dragon.
Wow. Lol.
Completely.
So, no
immune.
dragon moves at all?
That is what this is currently saying.
No dragon moves at all work on fairy types.
Yep.
I guess they thought dragons were OP?
Dragons are OP, admittedly.
Well, now they're not, because...
Now fairies are OP. Mind you, now there will be people who will build dragons to kill fairies.
Well, yeah, you could have a dragon type with non-dragon moves that can kill a fairy
Yeah,
type.
it's just not easy.
Yeah, and it's not, but... Hyper Beam! Bob!
Actually, not really that strong.
I know,
There are
it's
better
not
moves.
anymore. It was like in first gen, but...
Oh, Hyper Beam? I'm a ghost type. It doesn't hit me.
Oh, lol. Lol, 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 lol.
Lol, 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 lol.
Scrappy.
Okay.
As it's Scrappy Doo?
No, Scrappy's a normal type ability that lets you hit normal and fighting moves against ghosts.
Oh, fascinating.
Yes. Also,
What a scrappy stout one.
I mentioned before that there's Mega Mewtwo. There is actually now 2 Mega Mewtwo's. There's Mega Mewtwo X and Mega Mewtwo Y.
Do we have images for these?
Well, we've already had images for image for Y, and the X one is taken from a magazine, but we do have the image. It's just not very impressive.
I'll try and find it for you guys.
It's right
and put
there.
it-
I mean, you can get it. It's right there.
That's
X.
I'm gonna be
Mewtwo.
honest, that's really dumb looking.
Well, this is a fighting psychic type with the ability Steadfast.
Oh, it's fighting psychic? Okay, well then it doesn't look nearly as
Oh
as
no!
dumb.
You see, what it does is,
What's the other one?
the other one is straight psychic.
The other one is straight psychic?
Yes. Well, here.
It's not a mixed type at all?
No, note this. Psychic fighting. Psychic is weak to. Let me see here. Dark and
Isn't psychic also weak to dark?
No, psychic is weak to dark. Fighting is strong against dark.
Oh, okay,
But
so now it's
fighting is weak to flying and psychic, which psychic is not resistant to. So you traded weaknesses for other weaknesses instead of just being a straight psychic type. Also, both their abilities, not all that useful. Mega Mewtwo X has Steadfast, which says every time you flinch, your speed goes up. But Mega Mewtwo Y has Insomnia.
That's the one.
Which
Yeah, that's
says
the one
you
that can't
be
go to sleep.
Put to sleep. So
I don't get it.
they're really not all that special.
So basically, we've just been given a bunch of retarded news about the upcoming Pokemon stuff. Fairies, fairies are. Is this the first time, other than ghosts being immune to physical types, which makes
Ground
sense?
is also immune to electricity. Flying is immune to ground.
Flying. Okay, so we do have other immunities
Yeah,
that have been established.
but this is just the single most ridiculous one. We also have second forms for the starters. The grass one looks kind of retarded.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. All of those other immunities make sense. I mean, so ghosts are immune to physical attacks because
they're ghosts.
they're ghosts.
And ghosts can't affect physical things because they're ghosts.
Ground is immune to electricity because it's fucking ground.
And flying is immune to ground because it's flying.
It's fucking flying.
Yeah, but dragons and fairies. Think about that from the like mythological fairies.
From a mythological standpoint, dragons were always the most powerful creature.
And this is a Japanese
But
game.
fairies.
No, don't get me wrong. You're just being biased.
Yeah, you're biased. You don't get a say in this.
I'm not biased.
You're biased
You
against
clearly are
fairies.
Fairies.
You hate You hate fairies.
So why am I arguing for fairies? How does that make me biased?
Don't question me. I'm crazy.
The point is that it in a mythological standpoint, yes, fairies were powerful creatures. You know, there's a lot of precedent, the Asili and Unseelie fairy courts, blah, blah, blah. But dragons were always super powerful creatures, super powerful, rare creatures that were to be feared.
Yeah.
That even the supernatural creatures were
Mind
afraid
you,
of fairies.
I like the weaknesses they gave fairy. Fairies are weak to poison and steel.
I would have been okay if they made them weak to dragons. Or, like, just strong to dragons.
Yeah, just either way,
Yeah.
that would have been fine. I'm really pissed off that they're strong against dark, but that's mostly because the legendary for X, straight fairy. Legendary for Y, dark flying.
So, basically, the legendary for Y is
Boned!
boned, yeah.
Mind you, I'm just going to teach it Steel Wing.
Frogada!
Fuck you.
Okay, so that...
we also got a little bit of information about the Megastone activation. The Megastone activation is apparently a stone set into a watch that you can use, which then resonates with the Megastone. We don't have a lot of details about this, but it makes me want to get a Lucario and name it Big O so that I can say Showtime.
That seems like completely contradictory to like a lot of the other established Pokemon lore on how everything works.
Megastones are weird.
That's all I'm saying is
Look at
that
me as I flail.
I'm just but we're flailing. No, it just seems contradictory to the established Pokemon lore on how a lot of this shit
Fairies
works.
are immune to dragons.
Okay, I'm saying X and Y seem to.
Be immune to dragon.
No, it didn't.
Nothing had to be immune to dragons.
Super
Things.
effective against dragon, resistant to dragon. Fine, completely and totally immune. Dumb.
Like I said, the other immunities made perfect sense. This
And then
not
you
so
have
much.
Vanillish, which is a fucking ice cream cone.
Fuck Vanillish, Trubbish. I hate Trubbish so much.
Look. I stopped playing like consistently after like
Heart gold.
Heart Gold, like essentially gold and silver.
Yeah, and I'm still playing, and I think that some of these changes are very.
I found a lot of the changes after gold and silver to be kind of ridiculous.
Okay, well, the last little bit of Pokemon news I have, all of this you can be found, by the way, on Cerebi.net, is there you got the 2 new fossil Pokemon. We have a Rock Dragon.
Ooh,
and
Rock Dragon.
A Rock Ice, I think it is.
Ooh, Rock Ice.
And we have Steel lost its resistance to Dark and Ghost.
Well, shit.
Pretty much.
Okay, well, thank you, Wes, for that Pokemon news. I don't have any Guild Wars news this week since we're still on Super Adventure Box.
Sucks.
You know you don't believe that.
I have to.
You don't. You played.
Nope. Anyways,
Story of the Modern.
Nope.
Yep.
Done with Guild Wars. We only have 5 minutes left, so we're going to start talking about the thing that we were going to talk about.
Avatar.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Wes has watched Avatar since like way back.
I watched Avatar as it premiered. I watched the entire first series. I've watched Legend of Korra. Legend of Korra Book 2 starts Friday, for the record. Friday.
Oh, okay. I'll try and finish
That's the 13th.
book 1 by then.
It's actually only 12 episodes.
Only 12?
I think it was only 12, yeah.
Oh, that's less. But anyway, so but very much
They were
very
testing
much
a new idea.
Yep. very much along the same lines as a lot of other things in my life. I come to the game late.
Just a bit. How long did it take you to watch Avatar?
It only took me a few days actually. I kind of bored through
61
it.
episodes.
Well, the reason I got into it was because one of my favorite internet reviewers, the Nostalgia Critic. Have we talked about him?
Yes.
Okay.
If we haven't, what the man?
I know. Okay, well we'll go back and check. But one of my favorite internet reviewers, the Nostalgia Critic, just reviewed
the Airbender movie.
yeah, the
Last Airbender.
The Last Airbender by
Airbender movie was so horrible.
Yes.
No, he went over all of them.
Yeah, well, yeah, he covered everything. But
He also mentioned the show was perfect.
he actually said the show is perfect, and this is a guy that
Hates on a professional level.
he hates on literally. I mean, he gets paid to make videos about hating things. I mean,
with
that's
legitimate points, mind you, but hates.
and he said, Avatar was perfect. And I was like, okay, well, if one of my favorite reviewers likes it, I should probably give it a look. And I did. I downloaded all of the episodes and I started watching. And it was pretty fantastic. It brought me back to my growing up days where there were children's shows that were also fun for adults.
Yeah.
It had serious stories and it had goofy stories and it
Go along with that. My 4-year-old sister loves it. So
exactly, and her 4-year-old sister loves it. So kids love it too as much as adults can love it.
It's a fantastic series. If you haven't watched it, watch it.
By the way, don't piss off that kid.
Yeah.
Don't piss off Aang.
Yeah.
He'll rape you.
Yeah, it's pretty much what happened.
my favorite was still when Appa was stolen. Where's Appa? More!
He's right over there, Batman.
Oh. Where is he?
Worth it.
And a lot of episodes were really, really heart-wrenching too.
Yeah, no, it had the feels.
There were plenty of feels, like the Appa being lost episode had the feels. That short story with Iroh had the feels.
Yeah, them feels. That's because Iroh was made of feels.
Yeah, Iroh's totally made of. He's also made of awesome.
Yeah, dude's a baller.
He's a baller. Totally a baller.
Yep.
Dude, he busted himself out of prison.
Yeah, without trying at all.
And no air and no firebending either.
He didn't need it. You saw Suki just ignore 6 firebenders, and she's just a girl.
No, but he bent metal bars.
Yes, cause he's a baller.
Suki did not.
for metal bending.
Yeah, no, he did not metal bend. He just bent them with raw strength. That is how much of a baller Iroh is.
But Toph is the best.
I will admit,
Toph is the best
probably...
earthbender.
No, Toph is the best.
Best earthbender.
Toph's the best.
Earthbender.
So who's useless if she's 3 feet off the ground?
Who? Yeah. Who's
Worth
useless?
it.
Who's useless underwater?
Screw you guys.
These are just legitimate points.
Toph's the best.
I mean, Katara's kind of useless in a metal cage.
Yeah.
In a metal box.
No, she isn't. Sweat.
Not enough.
I don't know if she got enough. She could. It's been shown that she can cut through metal. It takes a while, but she can do it.
Yeah, that's the problem. There are limitations to every.
Or
type
she
of
could just
bending.
cut the lock and then she's out.
That's why you don't make it a lock.
You just weld it shut?
Yeah. I don't see you to keep her.
That's
in there.
horrible.
Yeah.
You're
hi.
horrible.
I'm a great person. Or 28 minutes.
Whatever. We can go over a couple of minutes to talk about Avatar because I want to talk about Korra as well. So yeah.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much all I've got about Avatar. It was great. If you haven't seen it, see it.
Toph's not the best.
She's pretty awesome though.
Yes.
She is a baller.
I'm not saying she's not a baller. She is amazing.
She invented an entirely new style of bending that is completely and totally her own art.
Oh, that was the thing I wanted to talk about. As far as why one thing I wish they had gone into more. I would have liked to have seen. Well, it's established in the show that Iroh knows lightning because he studied the Water Tribe and
He knows how to redirect lightning.
Well, he knows how to redirect. No, he can actually summon it too.
Yeah, because he was a firebender. Firebenders can do lightning.
Okay, along that line, I really wish there had been a little bit of mixing as far as the bending go, and then a person that actually took the time to study. Let's say you have a firebender that took the time to study earthbending, right?
Okay.
Then you would get control over a different aspect.
Well, let's see.
Too much in terms of Amber.
I know. I'm sorry. I've played that game for 3 years.
I played it for 2 years. I understand, but you've got to separate yourself from that.
No. Order.
He's crying. Oh God, he's crying. Get it away. Go away. Go. No. Oh God.
Hug me.
No, I'm not hugging.
It's the Legend of Korra.
It's amazing.
Yes.
But not as amazing as Series 1.
it's
just getting started.
It's good. It's good.
Polar bear dog.
well, I'll quickly touch on the points I told you over the phone. First of all, it was a little jarring, the aesthetic and setting change of.
Which, when you think
Keep in
about
mind,
it,
you still haven't seen the whole thing.
You're right, but I'm talking about, so you have Avatar: The Last Airbender, which takes place in a somewhat feudal, more or less primitive Asiatic group of societies, and then Legend of Korra, bam, we're in New York City with cars.
I have a theory with that. Well, something that I told Wes. Where I went with that is, look at the Industrial Revolution. Look at the world before the Industrial Revolution, and within 50 years of the Industrial Revolution, we had cars.
we're not arguing an
I'm
explanation.
not
for it.
arguing. I'm not arguing the possibility of it. I totally agree that it's possible that we got there within the several decades between the end of the Avatar and the beginning of Korra. The point I'm making is that it was just a jarring transition to go from that to that.
Yeah, and also take in mind, as we've seen, not everywhere is there, because you have where Korra was originally,
Which is
which
somewhere
is
in the
still-
south.
which is still
Or the
pretty
north.
primitive.
I think it was the South.
Somewhere
She
in the
was
south.
Pole.
Okay.
Still pretty primitive, because when she got to Republic City, she was just like, what are these things that are kind of, about to run me over?
No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, just because Republic City is built up, I mean, that is what Republic City was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like the hub of this new cultural revolution of balance and acceptance and peace and blah, blah,
How's that
blah.
working out again?
Yeah, well, but but that actually brings up the other point, the other issue I've had with the series so far, and I'm only like 5-6 episodes in. But the other issue I've had is that, in Avatar, we actually got to go, we traveled around and we saw all these places and stuff, and so far for me, I don't know if you guys can confirm this, but we've stayed in Republic City.
Book 1 involves Republic City.
Book 1 stays in Republic City.
Book 2 has been confirmed they will be moving around other places.
And that's good. I'm just saying I would like to see the evolution of a lot of other established locations
what
like
you
Ba
have-
Sing Se.
What you have to take in mind for
Book
Book
one.
1 is Book 1 was air. The only airbender lives in Republic City.
And
so
she needed
where
to
else was
learn
she gonna
it.
learn air?
Wait, why is Tenzin the only airbender?
Because he's
Because
on the council. He's on the Elder Council.
But why aren't there other
He's the
airbenders?
son-
Because he's the
Aang.
only son of Aang.
And Aang
He's-
was the
he's-
last airbender.
That is not true. Aang has more sons.
Aang has one more son and a daughter. That's it.
Yeah, why aren't they airbenders? It's been established that females can be airbenders.
We don't know that they're airbenders at all. We don't know. It's currently
Bending
theory
is
that
not guaranteed to be passed down.
we don't actually know that bending is hereditary. We assume it
Korra
is.
should just learn from Tenzin's kids.
But for instance,
From what we saw of Boomy, who was one of Aang's other sons, he looked like an earthbender.
well, you also have to take in mind, just because one is a bender doesn't mean the other one. Take, for instance, in Series 1, where you had Katara and Sokka. They're brother and sister. One could bend, one couldn't.
So it's not hereditary.
We don't know.
It could be a recessive gene. They don't go into it.
It's not like there's
I
a
mean,
scientific-
it
one
didn't
thing
look
we
like
do know-
either of Korra's parents were
But
benders.
no, she was the last bender in her tribe. They addressed that. But the one thing we do know is Aang was, in fact, the last airbender.
Well, yeah, because they killed them all.
And so,
They all had to die.
as far as we know, we know he had 3 kids. As far as we know, Tenzin was the only airbender. Therefore, they couldn't really learn air outside of Republic City.
That's my point, though, is that the possibility of there being other airbenders seems, if it doesn't seem to be entirely hereditary that a person can get bending ability. So it doesn't seem outside the realm of possibility that a kid could be born with airbending power.
But the other thing you have to look at is within the tribes, you don't have firebenders born into waterbending
Korra.
families.
No, Korra was the Avatar. She is not a
Avatar.
firebender.
That's not an excuse.
Also, we're almost at 4 or 5 minutes over.
That will be fine. We've gone over before. It's
Okay, I'm just pointing out the
So
points.
that's my point.
I'll
I think
edit it down a little bit if I have to.
I think it is hereditary to an extent. It's just not guaranteed that you're going to get it. I think it's more like a recessive gene.
They really haven't put a lot of explanation into how
They haven't needed to, really.
they haven't needed to.
We
But
just
these
kinda
are
went with it.
things that I think about.
Again,
That's all.
this show was made for children.
These are just things I
Korra's
think.
not as much.
Korra seems to be made for the same crowd that watched Avatar, who's now a little bit older and a little bit more able to handle
But
heavier
it's still
story.
a Nickelodeon show.
It is.
HBO should take it from them.
Ah, good luck with that.
Cursing,
They don't have real.
fucking airbending.
They don't have real people, Jason. They don't have real people.
Yeah, but
And
but
we'll end
HBO
up with the
has
live-action
handled.
movie.
No, I believe HBO has a good enough track record to handle a live action.
But they won't because we'll never let them do it. No one would watch it.
You know that's not true.
I wouldn't watch it.
Nickelodeon, all you have to do
What
is
if it
have
was
basic
amazing?
cable.
That's true.
What if it was
Nickelodeon could do
amazing?
it basic
What if
cable.
it was amazing?
But what if it's not?
What if it
I'm
was?
I'm not getting into that argument.
Okay. Well, we can't get into this argument because we're way over time at this point.
Yep. So that's closing thoughts for the week.
Well, I guess we'll talk about more Korra next week because by
Book
that
2.
I will. Yeah, book 2 will have come out and I will have finished book
Must
1.
DVR that.
Okay, so yes, we'll DV. I'll download it. Whatever. We'll all see it by then. All right. I guess we're done.
Closing thoughts?
You.
Your girlfriend wants to go home and go to bed.
My girlfriend apparently wants to go home and go to bed.
Those are fantastic closing thoughts. I'm Jason, the last word slinger.
I'm Wes. Sometimes the Lost Hatter.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Are you sometimes lost or sometimes a hatter?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, that's not true.
Okay.
Have a good night, everybody.
There.